Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're breaking down the Kansas City Chiefs' offensive line struggles, particularly in the Super Bowl. What went wrong? Could they have done anything differently? And what does this mean for the offseason? Let's get into it. Coming into the year, the Chiefs knew they had to address their left tackle situation after a disappointing performance last season. They attempted to fix it by drafting Kingsley Sumaia in the second round, a move that, in hindsight, didn't work out. Sumaia struggled, leading the Chiefs to experiment with different lineups before settling on this group. Joe Thuney, normally a left guard, shifted to right guard. Mike Sendo, a backup most of the season, became the starting left guard. Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith held down the center and right guard positions, respectively. Jawaan Taylor remained at right tackle, though he had an inconsistent season. Left tackle remained a revolving door, with different players getting opportunities, but no one truly solidifying the position. Heading into the postseason, this lineup was serviceable, but the cracks showed on the biggest stage. Let's talk about what went wrong, starting with right tackle. Jawaan Taylor had his moments, but he wasn't the worst offender in this game. That said, he struggled at times, like on this play where Jax Hunt, who was actually drafted after Kingsley Sumaia, pressured Mahomes, forcing an off-target throw. Again, not the worst rep from Taylor, but enough to disrupt the play. We already knew the guard situation was a concern. The Eagles took advantage of that by strategically aligning Jalen Carter against Trey Smith. While Smith is a solid lineman, leaving him one-on-one against Carter is risky. The Chiefs chose to double-team Carter, but that meant their three weaker linemen were left in one-on-one matchups. This led to disastrous results, particularly for left guard Mike Sendo, who was overwhelmed by Milton Williams. One key moment, Williams won his rep cleanly, forcing a fumble that the Eagles recovered and converted into more points. By that point, the game was already slipping away, but this moment highlighted how much of a mismatch the Chiefs were dealing with. Joe Thuney's move was supposed to stabilize left tackle, but it didn't work. Josh Sweat was able to generate enough pressure on a key play, forcing Mahomes to throw an interception. If Mahomes had been able to step into his throw, the result might have been different, but the pressure made all the difference. Looking back, should the Chiefs have made a mid-game adjustment? Two other tackles, Wanya Morris and DJ Humph, were options. Morris was inactive, and Humph had only played about 90 snaps all season. That said, inserting Humph might have limited the damage to just two positions instead of three, which would have made it easier to scheme around weaknesses. For example, if both tackles were struggling, they could have helped by chipping with tight ends and running backs on every play. This is a strategy they didn't use enough in their previous Super Bowl loss to Tampa Bay, and it might have given them a better chance here. Ultimately, though, this wasn't just a game-time issue, it was a season-long problem. The Chiefs' biggest mistake? Relying on a rookie project tackle instead of signing a proven veteran in free agency. They spent $133 million on Hollywood Brown, but that money could have been used to get a solid veteran tackle instead. The Chiefs don't need elite play at tackle, they just need competence. If they had that, this Super Bowl loss might have looked very different. We've seen this problem before. When the Chiefs lost to Tampa Bay, their offensive line issues were understandable. They were missing both starting tackles. But even after winning 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls, they still haven't truly fixed the tackle position. The Jawaan Taylor signing hasn't fully worked. The 49ers' pass rush dominated them in last year's Super Bowl. Their defense carried them, but the offense struggled until overtime. This time, the offensive line was too big of a liability, and the defense wasn't dominant enough to keep them in it. The Chiefs need to prioritize offensive line depth and stability this offseason if they want to keep Mahomes upright and competitive. Could the Chiefs have adjusted in this game? Maybe. Would it have made a huge difference? Probably not. The bigger issue is how they built their roster. This was a problem all year long, and it just happened to bite them at the worst possible time. But what do you think? Should they have made a mid-game adjustment? And what should they do this offseason to fix this issue? Let me know in the comments below. I always love hearing from you all. And as always, thanks for watching.